I do not think this is on. It does not appear to be. Either way. Anna. This is, well, I'll just speak loudly, which I'm prone to do anyway. Where is Anna? I saw her out in the other room. Yeah, I know. Let's all go wait outside the washroom for Anna. That will be fun. Nothing says discomfort like a bunch of people waiting outside the bathroom for you. Okay, well, I'll just speak loudly until Anna finds her way in here. There is she. Where is she? Anna. Anna. Oh, there we go. And magic, it appeared. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our first manifestation for the day. Why do I, after your music, have an urge to go yee-haw? I don't know.
It's country.
I know, man. Nice little country band. All righty, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome to the Zoomers. Welcome to people who are visiting us, who are new. And welcome to everybody who's here all the time. My name is Scott. I'll be your guest for a little while. Or your host for a little while. You'll be the guest. First thing we'd like to do is acknowledge the lands on which we are located. So, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living acknowledges that the land on which we gather is the ancestral territory of the Wiyot peoples. This territory extends to the communities through most of Humboldt County, and we honor the Wiyot peoples today. And we'll get things rolling with a, let's see here, what's going to happen when I hit the song? We're going to get the song. Donna, are you going to lead the song for us?
Please stand. Thank you.
This healing,
right, we're going to welcome each other to our community by saying the affirmation that's on top. And then I'd like you to get up and find somebody who normally you don't say hi to, but even if you do, and then just say, I'm really glad you're here. And be sincere about it, because we are glad that we are each here. So together we are going to say, we are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. And go up to somebody and say, I'm really glad you are here. Alrighty, we've got a whole bunch happening this month, and since it is the beginning of a new month, I like to start out with 90 seconds of trivia, information that you didn't know you needed, and you still won't need after you hear it, but it's fun. So a little bit of background: July was originally the 5th month of the Roman calendar, and it was named Quintilis, which meant 5th. Very clever naming that they had then. In 44 BCE, it was renamed July to honor Julius Caesar, who was born that month and had just been assassinated. Talk about legacy marketing. And when Caesar reformed the calendar into the Julian calendar, he also made it 31 days to show how important he was. So that's why it's 31. There are several historical events that took place in July, and they all seem to be around countries. July 1st, 1863, the Battle of Gettysburg began. July 1st, 1867, the Dominion of Canada was established. Let's hear it for Canada. July 14th, 1789, was the storming of the Bastille. July 27th, 1953, the Korean War armistice was signed. July 2nd, 1964, the Civil Rights Act was signed into law. So there we have a good one. And on a total aside, we are all very grateful because on July 6, 1957, Lennon met McCartney. And that was at a church fair in Liverpool, where 16-year-old John Lennon met 15-year-old Paul McCartney, and the Beatles would eventually be born. Some famous birthdays in July, aside from the Dalai Lama, who is turning 90. July 4th, 1804, this is a creative slant. July 4th, 1804, Nathaniel Hawthorne was born. July 6th, 1907, Frida Kahlo, the artist. July 12th, 1817, Henry David Thoreau. July 15th, 1606, Rembrandt. July 21st, 1899, Ernest Hemingway, and July 26, 1856, George Bernard Shaw. And Angelica. Yeah, there are a lot of other July birthdays too, including my son who's sitting in the back. You're both having birthdays. Well, we'll be doing the birthday song at the end of this service today with several of you in mind. And then just a couple of fun holidays. July 1st, I know it's past July 1st, but I put this one in because of Jeff. July 1st was International Joke Day, which is a whole day dedicated to jokes, puns, and groan-worthy one-liners. It's a perfect day to dust off your dad jokes. July 10th is Teddy Bear Picnic Day. We'll all be celebrating that. Here's an odd one. July 20th is World Jump Day. Now, the reason World Jump Day was founded, the idea was if enough people jumped at the same time, we would alter the Earth's orbit. Now, whether that's a good idea or not is up to you to decide, and it doesn't work anyway, but it's fun to watch. The last Friday of July is National Talk in an Elevator Day. I used to have a friend in college. I went to UCLA, and whenever we would go in the elevator, he always liked to turn and face everybody, just to watch everybody feel uncomfortable, and then would usually start out by saying, I bet you're wondering why I've called you all here today, and there would be. So that's that. Now, two final holidays that kind of go together. July 14th is National Nude Day. Just apply it appropriately. And finally, to go with that one, on the other side, I don't know why they did this, but July 27th is Take Your Pants for a Walk Day. All right, we obviously have too much time on our hands if we are putting holidays like those together. Let's see what is coming up here in the coming week. We had our weekly schedule was on the screen for a short while. If you have the newsletter, you'll find out about everything that Angelica sends out each Monday. If you are not on the newsletter, you can sign up in the other room. Brave, Vulnerable Conversations continues every Thursday at 10. Feel free to come by and just talk. Talk about what concerns you, talk about what you enjoy, talk about politics, talk about health. Just talk with people who are here to talk with you. No requirement of pay. It's just time to get together and have a conversation. Speaking of conversations, the men's group will take place next on July 12th and then July 26th. That's in the other room. That's from 3 to 5. Those who identify as men are most certainly welcome. Better Together is another social group, and Better Together will be going to see the Humboldt Crabs baseball team, and that'll be Friday, July 11th, or Saturday, July 12th, or Sunday, July 13th. You vote at the side table. Who says democracy isn't alive and thriving? Pick the day that you would like to go. Better Together is our social group, where people get together and they are better that way, hence the clever name. They go out and have fun. So please feel free to join them and have fun. Our writing class continues, now at a new time. It's now it's from 2 to 3:30, and it will be not this coming Friday, but the following Friday. If you are a writer, if you like to write, if you want to know more about writing, if you have read writing, please feel free to attend. It is wonderfully conducted by Lorna, who leads us with some fantastic exercises. I look forward to it. It's a great hour and a half or so to take place with other people. Also, we do a lot of things around here, a lot of creative outlets. Louise and her never-ending class that has been going on for years and years and continues to do it, is doing Art with Louise. That will be the last Saturday of the month, featuring watercolors. Did you wish to say anything about it? I do. Okay, I figured you would.
The subject will be, I call it surprise watercolor. So I can't tell you because it's a secret, but if you have watercolor supplies, paper, whatever that you would like to bring from home, please do. Otherwise, I do have supplies to share, just to let you know. And it's all love offerings, so anyone is welcome. You don't need any experience at all. Thank you.
Seeing that both my hearing aid batteries just gave out at the same time, did you say it was supplies watercolor or surprise watercolor? Okay, surprise. It will be a surprise what takes place. If you tell us, you'd have to kill us, and that would be really disappointing. We would all just like that. Practitioners are available. If you would like a chance to talk with somebody about whatever is going on in your life, we call them the 5-minute miracles at the end of today's service, which there will also be a potluck. But at the end of today's service, you can feel free to reach out to any of the practitioners, and we'll take some time with you if that's what you would choose. Practitioners who are here today, obviously me. Michele is here, Susan is here, Edward is not, Karen is here. So we'll find out more about Karen in just a moment. SOAR, the Mothership's big convention, takes place in Banff in Canada, which is fun to go to simply so you can say, I've been to Banff, because that's a fun word to use. That takes place in August. There are very few slots left open, but if you would like to go, the URL is on the screen. The little pantry needs to be fed. We help take care of our community by providing food. So if you can bring any non-perishable food, it goes in the other room. If you cannot bring it today and you want to bring it on Monday, Walk in Awe is here every Monday from noon to 4, and she will take care of it. Please feel free to bring it by. And now we move into this month's theme. I have a slight story about this slide. As many of you know, I create the slides. And this one I will dedicate to two people in this room, Donna and Brian, because when I made this slide, Angelica and I talked about it, and I don't know where these ideas come from. I mean, there's several incarnations, and this one came about. And then I saw this couple dancing, and I thought of the two of you, and I particularly modified their look to make them look more like the two of you. And as Angelica and I talked about, I said, if there are two people who embrace adventure, it's the two of you. So this slide is dedicated to everybody, but for the two of you. Okay, with that in mind, Donna will come up and embrace a song for us, and then the moment of peace will be led by Michele right afterwards.
That's very sweet.
Oh, my pleasure.
We really do look like that. Ah. And our song is We Are One. Jackson? It is clear to see how each day may be full of friends for me to learn from. I am one, I am beautiful, I am one, I'm joy, I am one with the universe, I am love. And the world may be a discovery of great majesty to learn from. You are one, you are beautiful, you are one, you are joy, you are one with the universe, you are love. And the universe, such a fantasy, full of mystery to learn from. We are one, we are beautiful, we are one, we are joy, we are one with the universe, we are love.
Good morning. I think Reverend Karen's talk has to do with not focusing necessarily on the destination, but on the journey to get there. So Doug and I were walking around Arcata on July 4th, and we ran into this esteemed member of our spiritual community. And so I thought it would be fun and Ari agreed to put this slide up and to see if you could guess who this is. And so, Rick. Okay, I've heard a couple. Marvin. How many people think it is Rick? How many people think it is Marvin? It is Marvin. I know, maybe you could have taken that costume up, Rick, about lunchtime. Probably got heavy wearing that head. But anyway, that was pretty fun. All right. So Maybe at our next party you can dress up like that, Marvin. So I have a couple of quotes today for my reading, and then for those of you that are new, then we'll have a moment of silence, and Jackson will sing us into the opening invocation. So the first reading is from Abraham Maslow, and the second one is from our founder, Ernest Holmes. The sacred is found in the ordinary. It is to be found in one's daily life, in one's neighbors, friends, and family, in one's backyard. As you enter more completely into conscious union with life, you will realize the universe holds as much good for you as you can take. So I have a moment of silence.
We are one, we are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in that unity we can live in harmony and peace will come. When we are one.
And as we breathe in this morning, just centering ourselves in this place, we are one. We are one with the universe. We are one with each other. We are one with all the life around us. And as Ernest Holmes said, the universe holds as much good for you as you can take. Some of that is in the act of noticing, just noticing the beauty around us. And today, as we come together, either on Zoom or in person, I know that the words of Reverend Karen will touch us all and will just allow Spirit more fully to move through us and out into our world. And I know this beautiful service unfolds in its right and perfect way. And so it is.
We are one, we are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in that unity we can live in harmony and peace will come. When we are one.
And now it is my pleasure to welcome our lovely Reverend Karen Blakeley.
Yeah, it's always weird for me to hear somebody call me Reverend Karen because it sounds like too many syllables because I always just say Rev K. Seems like a shorter, funner way. But it is such a joy to be back with all of you here today with my Eureka family. And I really wanted to start things off where we left off last week. And Rick had talked about having focus. And you know, when I was in the car and I was on my way here, I'm going to move this bell so I don't accidentally push it off the thing because that'll happen. I was really thinking about Eureka, and I was thinking about the trees and the ocean and thinking about all of you. And when I looked up for a moment, I didn't know where I was. Anybody ever done that? And it's because I had lost what Rick talked about last week. I lost my focus. And I had lost that focus on the present moment. And I started thinking about this and how often in our lives do we lose focus on the present moment? And we tend to future cast. And we'll say, well, I'll do that once I get the job, or when the kids are raised, or well, after I retired. It's like we're looking for some arbitrary destination in the future that when we get there is going to have some magical ability to make everything perfect. And life is going to be completely joy-filled and everything will be magnificent. Now, I'm not saying that goals are bad, because they're absolutely not. And yes, life 100% can bring us that most fulfilling life. But that's not going to happen if we're focused out there at some point in the future. So I got news for you. We are all on this collective and personal journey called life. And life is not about reaching some destination. It's about learning to live in the moment and realizing that this life is a gift and that Spirit has absolutely got us. I mean, after all, isn't that why we call it the present? And so this is where I got the title of my talk today, which is, It's a Journey, Not a Destination. Enjoy the ride. And I think it should also say, and buckle up, Buttercup, because it's going to be a wild ride. So that's what I want to look at today, is a few ways that we can learn how to really embrace this thing called life and enjoy the ride. Are you guys with me? Yes. All right. I almost believe you with that. Try it one more time. Are you with me? Yes. Yeah. All right. So we've already talked about being in that present moment, and I want to take that just a little bit deeper and look at practicing the presence in our lives. This is about cultivating that spiritual consciousness and the reliance on that which we call our higher power. You can call it God, divine essence, sweet spirit, that's one of my favorite, or I really like the infinite invisible. Doesn't that just feel incredible? Whatever you call it, I'm going to call it God sometimes in this talk, but feel free to just substitute whatever you want. That in this, that we are trusting that higher power, that even when things are going crazy in the world, that sweet spirit has absolutely got us. And there's a beautiful book by Joel Goldsmith. It's a really old one. And I'm going to try to hold it still here for our online community. And it's the same name. It's Practicing the Presence. And then if you look at the small print under it, it says, An Inspirational Guide to Regaining Meaning and a Sense of Purpose in Your Life. Doesn't that feel juicy? And in it, he says that we must be receptive and responsive to the truth that wells up inside of us and not get stuck in merely thinking about spirit, but learning to embody and know that we are spiritual beings. And our founder, Ernest Holmes, in the book This Thing Called You, puts it this way. There is but one presence in the universe. Since it is in and through everything, it must be in and through you. This presence manifests itself in and through all forms, all people, all conditions. This presence is life itself, and its nature is love and givingness. Really let that sink in for a minute. You know, when I was younger, I loved to go to the bookstore. I still really do love a good bookstore. But back then, you could find me doing a beeline right to the self-help section. That even in my 20s, I was focused on personal growth and spirituality. And I was always looking for the latest and greatest thing, and I'm reading those books, and I'm going to learn, I'm going to figure it all out. But nothing seemed to change. Well, the problem was I kept on trying to intellectualize my way to a more fulfilling spiritual life. And spirit just doesn't work that way. It's about realizing at a soul level that spirit is right here inside of us. And being that conduit or that opening for the divine, that we allow spirit to use us in this beautiful world and open up and practice the presence and learn to receive it. And so I want to give you a few words that Joel Goldsmith said. And he's a little old school, so I may change some of the words in here. It is very much as if the shades on the windows were drawn, and we sat all afternoon talking about sunlight, what it is, what it does, and how to avail ourselves of it. Then, after several hours, someone very skeptically remarked, but it's still dark here. After all this talk about light, it's still dark. Yes, it's still dark. And dark it will remain until we roll up the shades. So it is with the truth. We can talk about it. We can read about truth. We can study truth. We can hear about truth and never once be in the light. Never once feel the presence and the power of God. It is the conscious awareness, the actual feeling or realization of the presence where the newness is necessary. And so it is in this practice of the presence that we find that we open up to that fulfillment. That it's when we allow ourselves to feel deeply that we're rooted and connected to that which is greater than we are. And that brings me into our second point for today, and that's feel your feelings. And I'll add to that, yes, all of them. In Centers for Spiritual Living, we teach that thoughts are things. That means that thoughts are energetic, that they actually have the ability to be the substance of that which forms out in our world, and that we see it. And so that we have to watch what we think and what we say, because we're creating every day the world that is around us. And what tends to happen in that is something that I like to call spiritual bypass. As we get into, we want to be focused on the good, and that's very true. We want to outpicture the good in our lives, but that doesn't mean that we don't feel the pain, that we don't feel the anger, that we can't embody the grief, and we don't want to just be like, nope, anger is not in me. I don't see you. You're over here. I'm not doing that. Because when you do that, it doesn't go away. You end up stuffing it down. And Louise Hay says that when we harbor unresolved emotions and negative thought patterns, we can create blockages in our body's energy flow, which eventually leads to physical ailments. By addressing these emotional roots, we can open up pathways of healing. That in feeling our feelings, we're actually finding a path towards powerful healing and transformation in our own lives. That it is in the feeling of the feelings that the gifts come. And no one has said this better than the great Sufi mystic Rumi in The Guest House. He says, "This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor, welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweeps your home empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. It may be clearing you out for some new delight. And this is usually where we stop in that poem. But it goes on to say, the dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from the beyond. That it's in our shadow work that we find the gifts. But you'll notice too that in this poem, it's every day a new emotion. And so we have to be cautious of getting stuck. You don't want to build a house in fear or resentment, but allow it to wash through you. That when you're activated by something, you go, ooh, that really upset me. What's in this for me to know? And allow yourself to feel that and allow it to wash through you. And so I encourage you to think of feeling your feelings, not in a judgment of if that feeling is right or wrong, but as spiritual self-care. That in feeling your feelings every day, that you are creating that space for healing and transformation and really just trusting the process. And trusting the process leads me into our last point. Trust the process. Ooh, the state of the United States is really giving us a great opportunity to practice this right now. It has called on us to clarify our values, to stop playing small, and to take compassionate action, to use our voices in support of spiritual principles. And I know I've said this here before, and I want to explain it a little bit more today, that we need to find a way to be for something and against nothing. And so that means that instead of being against violence, that we're affirming peace. That instead of seeing separation, that we're claiming unity. Can you feel the power in that? And it's because Spirit does not speak in negatives. If we say, I don't want X, all Spirit hears is, I want X. So we've got to affirm what we want in our lives. We've got to affirm those positive qualities. The poet and author James Pearson in How to Build a Tree says, sometimes your next halting step is more powerful than the grandest vision. All a leaf knows about building a tree is how to turn towards the light. In the meditation this morning, Lori talked about the fact that we're each light, that within us is that divine light. And so are we looking at the darkness, or are we turning towards the light and being and allowing ourselves to open up to that divine essence, that beautiful light that dwells within us? Because you know what happens when we turn towards the light? The light gets reflected back at us. And then together we can collectively be that beacon of light, like a bat signal shining bright for love and joy and goodness in the world. And that's the power of community. That's the work that we're doing. That together we are building the world that works for everyone. What I know is that every one of us here on this tiny green and blue planet are tiny drops of sweet spirit. We've got to shine our light and trust that no matter what it looks like, we're in a divine process, even when it's messy. Especially when it's messy. And you may have noticed I'm wearing my red, white, and blue today, celebrating the 4th of July. And the 4th of July is also called Independence Day, yes? And it's really a day that symbolizes freedom. And I believe that true freedom comes when we are able to trust the process. That it is in this that we surrender. Ooh, there's a word. Let's breathe that in for a minute. I'm going to guess somebody is activated by hearing the word surrender. So he often brings up that image of a white flag of giving up. But that's the abdication of power. And when we're talking about surrendering to Spirit, what we're talking about is claiming our birthright, of claiming our greatness and our spiritual power. And that's something that no one can take away from us. That nothing going on in the world can ever take away that spiritual essence that we are. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, says, all power of the universe is within you. Feel it, know it, and then act as if it were true. Know that you are a divine spark. You are a divine idea in the mind of God, placed on this planet at this time for this reason, to shine your light, to be love. And I get it. This journey, sometimes it can be kind of crazy, or to steal some song lyrics, it can be a long, strange trip. Gotta love when you can put a little GD in your Sunday service. In seriousness, though, life may not be what we expected it. It may not be going exactly how the roadmap that we built of what's going to happen and how our life is going to continue and how it should be. I had a friend once tell me, thou shalt not should on yourself. So I'm just going to leave that little tidbit of wisdom with you this morning. I know that I am not alone when I say that life has thrown some curveballs along the way. And so if you are having trouble trusting the process, then I encourage you to pray with a practitioner, to have faith in our faith, because we're going to have faith in yours when we're weak. That it's together in community that we are building this world that works for all. That it is together, collectively. We're not doing this alone. Don't ever think that you are alone. If you take anything away from the talk this morning, know that you're not alone. There is power in our light together. So our job is to stay in the moment. Listen to our feelings, practice the presence, and trust the process. And I challenge you this week, answer that call, that little voice in your head or what's calling on your heart. Take that step. And even if it's hard, turn towards the light. Be the light. And above all, be sure to enjoy the ride. Thank you. All right, so let's just take this into prayer. And so it is in this very present moment that we know and affirm that there is only one presence, one power. I call it God, I call it Spirit, I call it divine. And what I know is that it is all that there is. That everything seen and unseen is God in action. And what I know is true is that each one of us is a part of that. That we are that divine spark in the mind of the one. And so I simply speak a word for us this day, just claiming and affirming that spiritual power and authority lives within us. And I see and know the light that we collectively shine on this planet, that love swells up and brings to it greater and greater good. And I see this love ripple out through the city, through our towns, and encompassing the world and beyond. Because love is that power of God in action. That there is nothing that is too small for us to do, that together we are building this world that works for everyone. And so as we come together in this beloved community to celebrate freedom this day, I know that it is freedom from fear, it is freedom from doubt, it is freedom from anxiety. It is the freedom to shine love and light. And for this, I am so grateful. And so I simply cast this forth into the law. I let it go. I let it be, knowing that sweet Spirit has already whispered, yes, beloveds, yes, yes, yes. And we know and affirm this together by saying together, and so it is. All right, we're going to take a breath into that one for a minute, and we're going to change things up a little bit, and I'm inviting Donna and Brian up, and for our next song.
And I invite Miss Reverend K, Rev K. We are the ensemble today. We are a little guitar heavy today on this song too, so what better way to celebrate America than with some Chuck Berry? Rock and roll, baby.
That's what it's all about.
Deep down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans, way up in the woods and by the evergreens, there stood a log cabin made of earth and wood, where lived a country boy named Johnny, who never ever learned to read or write so well, but he could play a guitar like a ringing bell. Go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, go. Oh, Johnny, go, go. Oh, yeah. Johnny, be good. He used to carry his guitar in a gunny sack, sit beneath a tree by the railroad track. All the engine you could see was sitting in the shade, strumming to the rhythm of the driveway. People passing by, they stop and say, "My, that good boy, he sure can play." Oh, Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, go, oh, yeah. Johnny, be good. And one day you will be a man, and you will be the leader of a big old band. People, they will come and say, miles around, listen to your music when the sun goes down. Someday your name may be in the lights, sing Johnny, be good tonight. I said, go, go, Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, go. Oh, Johnny, go, go,
I think I sum it up for the whole room when I say, wow. Wow, that was fun. I wanted to also thank you, Karen, for a lovely talk. It really hit me where I needed to be right now. And it reminded me of a quote that I think you'll appreciate. I hope you all will. It's attributed to Hunter S. Thompson about life. Life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, wow, what a ride. All right. So now what we are going to do is we are going to take our loving energy, we are going to put intentions, we're going to pass the plate in a second. But one of the parts that I think is missed a lot is as the plate goes by, you put money in, and that's a nice feeling. Take whatever you're going to put in, whether you can put money or whether all you can do is put thoughts, but attach an intention to it. Don't just drop it in the plate, but think, what do you want this to do? How do you want this to make the world or our community a better place? What is it that you are hoping for? Attach it to your donation, put it in the plate, and realize that you are creating even more of that process. But before we do that, let us all say together, I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses this center, all in it, beyond, and so it is. And the band will play yet again. As we accept these gifts, we know that there is only one infinite energy, one divine source. It is everywhere, it is all, it is everything, and it is included in these donations. And with each of these donations is an intention to make the world, the planet, the universe, a better and more powerful place for all, a divine entity for everybody as it already is. So as we take these gifts and we put them out into the community, we know that they are being attached with love and support and helping all that need it. And we release these words into the law of mind, knowing that they are already happening, and say together with enthusiasm, and so it is.
I got one more to grab.
Oh, okay, I'll put it back here. Thank you. This just in, all right. Okay, in a moment, we're going to do our community statement of inclusion. We're going to rearrange things a little bit because I like to do the demonstrations before and a couple of closing announcements. A reminder that there is a potluck in the other room today because this is Birthday Sunday, being the first Sunday of the month. And well, we'll find the inclusion in a moment. Also, because it is Birthday Sunday, if it is your birthday in the month of July and you would like to be honored for it, we'd like you to stand. If you don't want to be honored for it, we'd like to honor you anyway. So if you can at all possible. Yes, I know it's Angelica's among others. There are a lot of July birthdays, and we sing, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. She's on a mission. Burl, Karen. There's Brandon in the back, there's Karen up front. Ladies and gentlemen, Burl is now getting her steps for the day. And Brandon, your flower was virtual. Okay. All right, what we'd like to do is take a moment before we do our community statement of inclusion, especially since we have time. And if you have a demonstration, we would love to hear from you, your demonstration. Take a moment or so to tell us. A demonstration, in case you are not aware, is the way our philosophy works, well, the way the universe works, we just recognize it, is that we get connected to the divine. We have a thought, we have an idea, it becomes a belief, we feel it deeply, we just focus on it, and at some point it manifests in this world. It can be something, as they say, as simple as I really wanted that parking lot, or the parking space in front of the store, to I found the love of my life, to whatever it might be, and we have room for a couple of demonstrations, if there are any. I'm sorry to say the philosophy is a flop. Okay, there we go. We'll do Lance, and then was a Rose who had her hand up. We already did that. We announced it. Oh, okay. I'm asked to remind people again to sign up for the Humboldt Crabs, to vote for the day of the Humboldt Crabs baseball game. Okay, Lance, it's yours.
I believe in miracles. And I've witnessed them, and I've had them happen to me. I was a commercial fisherman for a little while, and we caught a fish called black cod or sablefish, and I took to smoking the fish, and I got them almost free from my skipper, and so it was pretty lucrative. And what I did was I took these fish after I smoked them up to freshwater lagoon, where back in the day, camper after camper after camper, you remember? All the way, the whole stretch, probably 3 miles. And I would go to each camper, and I would offer them a sample, and I would make a sale, every one of them. And I was there with my family, and I had, at that time, my boy was 2 years old, and he was with us. And I was doing what I do, and then I heard him crying, screaming, crying. And I turned towards the ocean to see that in the sand there was a fire pit that had nothing but white hot coals. My son was standing in the middle of the coals, just crying. I raced to him, I scooped him up, and then I ran the 50 yards to the breakers, and I got in the water with him. And I thought that maybe this will help cure him to be in the salt water. And he just kept on crying and wailing and crying and wailing. I really feel that the longer I would be in there, the better it would be. But he was so frustrated and scared and crying that I soon left the water, got in the car, Mad River Hospital. They flew him out to San Francisco Burn Center. We drove down there. They put us up, and after I don't know how many days, I'm going to say 2 weeks, the doctor finally, I mean, we were there in the hospital, in the very sanitary room every day. And on this one day, about 2 weeks in, the doctor took us into a room, my wife and I, and said, listen, tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, we're going to operate. We're going to do what's called a skin graft. And they were going to take some skin off of his thigh and off of his calf, I think, and they were going to graft it. I don't know much about that procedure, but I didn't want it to happen. I felt awful because he was so perfect. my 2-year-old son was perfect. And I just felt awful. And I called my mother, who lived down in Orange County, and she brought me to this faith, to the science of mind, when I was only 10 years old. She was practicing it from her mother, believe it or not. And so I called her, and I cried, and I told her the whole story. And she goes, well, I'm going to put out a prayer circle, which it was a big prayer circle all over the world. But she donated some money, and it was Science of Mind, and they prayed all together at the same time. And I did too. And the next morning we went in to be there for our son to get his skin graft. And the doctor comes in and says, I don't know, I can't believe it happened, but we're not going to do that skin graft. He healed overnight. Wow. So I believe in miracles.
If there's a competition, you can't top that one, that's for sure. But I wanted to do a personal demonstration. About six years ago, our family went through a lot of tumult. It was divisive. It was a very difficult time. Members of our family were not speaking to each other. I spoke with some people here about it. I spoke with a therapist. Of course, my wife and I talked about it, and it was a very difficult time. One of my goals was that our family, one of my hopes, dreams, manifestations would be that our family would heal. I'm known as the guy who cries in front of people. 9 months ago, planning for a 3-month stay, my son Brandon moved up here from Texas to get ready to move to Canada to be with somebody. And it has been 9 months instead of 3, and I have savored every moment. And over these last 9 months, our family is healed. We have performed, everybody was together for my 70th birthday. We have been in plays together. We have sat up night after night after night and talked. We have had celebrations. We have shared tough times. And tomorrow, Brandon and I will get in a car, and I will drive him up to Canada for a road trip. And obviously, I'm just overjoyed and sad. And it has been a lovely, lovely time having you here. All right. So after that uplifting moment, we would like somebody to read for us the community statement of inclusion, which is on the screen, and then Donna will come up here and lead us in our peace song. If you're not familiar with the peace song, the lyrics will be on the screen. My suggestion is if you're not familiar with it, you stand on that side of the circle so you can see the screen and not do this and end up with a stiff neck. So do we have anybody who will read our community statement of inclusion today? Okay, Donna.
We, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are a community that honors the unique emanation of God that each person embodies and advocates with people for human rights and dignity for all. We are a community that blesses each other, sees sacredness in all life, remain learners and listeners so we may grow together, and understands that oneness is not sameness. Together we say, we know our beloved community is revealed more fully when we love each other well. Please stand and form a circle. And And together we say, "Go, Johnny, go." Looks good.